Hello, and today we'll finish out the newest update of Finite Space. The transport takes us swiftly into orbit and around a single buoy before our destination appears. A cavalry dropship. I may not be obsessed with light marvels, but wow, that is impressive. The outer hull is peppered with artillery, cannons, and other long-distance firepower. It's intimidating to approach. Underneath, with just some faint prominence venting, is the core of the dropship, a Dyson sphere. The cultivated miniature stars contain inside complex siphoning cells. Each of them pumps out enough energy to fuel the ship's entire operation, from construction, repairs, to collapse travel across star systems. Along the length, I can see the long bays the steed ships will be launched from, propelled by excess energy. When we arrive, they will literally be shot at the enemy. We pull up alongside the behemoth of a vessel and then enter one of the back hangars. We barely touch down before Cobbett is up and moving out. I have to jog to keep up with him. All around us are support and auxiliary crews. Munitions are being loaded into weapon tubes. People sell out various system check orders. Everywhere I look, a flurry of activities is underway, preparing us for the imminent deployment. Cabot heads into a corridor and onto an express travelator, as soon as it is to hold onto the rail and simply let it rocket us along. I maintain pace with him. After we transition deep into the ship, we are finally diverted at a junction, exit the speedy walkway, and then enter the loading bay. I see my night steed ship for the first time. Even reined in to launch position, the ship looks sleek, eager even. The steed ships always remind me of a lance, with their sharp drill-like protrusions on the front. Using light energy to speed up and heavy to enhance impact, the cavalry can literally pierce through the plague vessel to do insane damage. As we walk alongside it, my eyes scan the hull just above where the omni-directional turrets will extend from is a name stamped across Gore. G-O-R, Gore. Geeter. Cobbett runs a gloved paw across the hull, giving it a pat like a faithful pet. Close. Yether. It's an old tradition, though we can discuss all that later, okay? Let's get me in. Two additional technical crew help me get Cobbett mounted for the first time. The saddle of the ship is a fully rotatable and positionable carpet with thick cables that slot into Cabot's armor, feeding into the larger machine. Looper Knights are famous for riding their steed ships with their saddle bent forward, giving the appearance of the riders being on all fours. Harkening back to their ancestral hunting roots rather than being in a traditional upright position led to a noticeable improvement in response and maneuvering times. In the intense dogfights, it could mean the difference between life and death, from lessons piloting methods are constantly being improved and tweaked to offer any incremental benefit and ease. As Cobbett goes through the startup sequence, panels and displays light up. Its helmet, now in place, becomes awash with connection, messages, and outputs. The steed ships really are remarkable. Even in the vacuum of space, the myriad of sensors along the hull will take in a constant stream of data from every angle. This then feeds into the rider's armor directly, converting the data into sensory stimuli that the knights can react to as if experiencing it firsthand. This was found to be one of the best methods for staying ahead of the plague ships. The ability to sense their surroundings in space in real time, the KAU fighters can react as fast if not faster than the plague. In earlier days, the delay between screen readout and response led to many awful losses. Now we can keep up. The downside is the sheer volume of data being transmitted into the riders. The suits help, of course, by converting the data into a form the body can interpret speedily. However, it is often still too much and leads to sensory overload. I placed my hand over my chest. This was the original concept for the ages, a pressure valve, to bleed off the excess stimuli to a second party to make it more manageable and to help ground the night. It wasn't until the system was put into practice that its true potential was realized. It was advanced to its current iteration. Now squads can save nights, and I plan to make sure cabinets remains in the sky. All systems link here, sir. Reading is good. Feedback normal. Feedback nominal. How is the sensory dilutes? Oh good. Never really forget the feeling after your first rodeo. Okay, Cohen. My squad, time to join the others. His shadow retracts into the ship slowly. His visor is too reflective to make out his expression, but I give him a nod and step back. Good luck, stay safe. I say it more for my own benefit, or maybe as a prayer. Gore rotates and then lines up to the accelerator bay. Once we drop out of collapse travel, all excess momentum from the dropship will be transferred to these bays to suit the steed ships into action. Turning, I make my way to a nearby elevator and now have to report to the bridge for Captain Jazz to brief us. The bridge is a madhouse of activity. Crew are at various stations calling out readings, readying systems and otherwise preparing us for imminent departure. Jazz is situated in the middle of the hub, shouting orders left and right, using every one of their arms to point and direct the crew. Along the outer walkway are the other squads. Apart from Eric's with his knight, the rest of my pack are there. I hurry over. Hey, Cohen. Zora greets me, though with none of her normal jovial behavior. She's currently focused on Alex's armor, checking to ensure everything is on and functioning correctly. He will then in turn check hers, so that means fuck. Brute is currently hunts over the armory packs, checking inventory and what has been assigned. Beyond the current space, which has 4 wolf packs inside, there are the sword and steel cases. Default loadout makes sense given how we haven't been approved for anything more specific yet. I walk up to the squatting wolf just as he finishes with the clips and stands. Squad brute. Let me do final checks. I try to keep a level head, but even the sight of him makes me want to punch him. It's only levied by the fact that he looks serious. He simply stands upright, turns his back to me, and then raises his arms. It's an invitation for me to do the check without a single sneer or comment. I'm quick, though thorough, with the inspections. I check for spaces in the armor or misconnected parts. As I go, I also use my stick to ensure that the readings are nominal. His heart rate is up, but that is more than understandable given the situation. He turns and then I check the front. I confirm the aegis is connected and syncs. With a nod, I close the stick. We then reverse our positions. Brute's paws are gentle. He completes the examination with aggressive insistency, paws knocking and shaking me as he goes. It feels more like him testing the armor than checking it. After he also checks me with his stick, he gives me a curt, solid nod. I'm about to check the weapons, but he grasps me by the shoulders with both paws. I look him in the eyes as he drills into mine. We're gonna fucking get them. I'm going to destroy them, all of them. Don't slow me. Any of us, down. He lets go and then moves away. All I can do is bend over. The cases as the heat of anger creeps up my neck and cheeks, not wanting to rise to his insufferable doubts. You okay, Cohen? Did Brute say something to you? Alex crouches down next to me. I hadn't noticed that he and Zora had finished up their own checks. Yeah, I'm fine. Just Brute being his usual daisy fresh self. Understood. He seems even more prickly than usual. Has been ever since the announcement. Alex pauses to Look over at Root. He's tapping the railing. He's leaning over, focused on the movements and discussions of the crew below. I'll be honest, I recognize that raising him. It'll be on us to reel him in if he tries to overextend. Despite what we all think of him, none of us want to lose Root. A part of me would very much like to argue that point with Alex, but he was right. I might dislike Root's attitude, but I'll still fight tooth and nail to keep him as safe as the rest of us. I grunt affirmatively to Alex. I busy myself with doing my own check and then take up my arsenal. Alex pats my shoulder as he stands before he leads me to it. Once I calibrate my stick to the weapons and make sure the configurations of each are correct, I stand feeling sufficiently cooled off. Zoe is doing a few test swings with her sword. As I watch her, she finishes up her drill and then sees the blade. I prefer to have had my arms cleared, but I can use this well enough, though as Sarek says, it's better to avoid them getting close enough to begin with. She looks at the wolf pack remaining for her. She huffs and wrinkles her nose. She picks it up after a moment, sinks to it, and then slings it across her back. She looks at me with her ears down. We're going to be alright, aren't we, Cohen? We'll all come home safe, right? You'll help me if I can't shoot anything properly. It's the most nervous I've seen her. I reached over to take her paws in my hands. I could feel the slight tremor of her body travel down them. She's scared. Yeah, of course, Zora. We'll bring everyone back, and you'll hit more of them than I will. I'm sure. I have your back. You got mine, right? I'm scared too. Root's actions might have filled me with momentary anger, but I'm afraid. It's real now. You'll soon see the plague and be fighting them. Zarya pulls me into a tight hug. We stay there for a moment, just taking in each other's strength. Her whiskers press into my cheek, and I can smell the spice of her shampoo. She must have been selling right before we were called to action. It's only as the ship rumbles from deep below and Vera's calls for pre-collapse measures are sounded out that she lets me go. Yeah, we got this. We join the others as we assemble in front of Jazz at their central position. Alright, Squires. You all look very nice in your new armor. We'll be jumping in a moment once my Patty here warms up. They are built and will operate at the central point for all your knights. Jazz flexes their arms and spreads them around with a florist. In time, we'll train you to man Patty's impressive long-range arsenal. For this engagement, we'll be sitting you down, planet side. Aren't you glad I let you all experience it earlier? Their grin is self-congratulatory. We're really going to land on the invaded world and support from there. The plague have appeared in the laboratory system, targeting their only occupied world, Cetroxis. It's a claimed world made habitable 50 years ago. Therefore, all settlements have been designed with bunkers for sheltering the people safely in just such a scenario. Jazz checks a holoscreen as they read off details. Areas chosen are locked in. Get down, set Trents up, keep an eye out for any stragglers that try to deploy Lantern units, and then watch us soar. Collapse jump in 10. All you to be in pods, ready to drop in 5. March, Squires. They bellow out the last words, return sharply, and then march out of the bridge. I wave quickly to Eric as we go. He gives me a smile before Jazz starts hollering again, and he runs to follow their orders. Before I know it, I'm in my assigned pod and ready. Alone, I feel the weight of taking deep and long breaths. We'll be there soon. It has been such a whirlwind that I can barely keep track of everything that occurred in the last few hours, let alone days. In a few short moments, we'll travel via collapse and arrive right away. Morals always explained the KU travel system simply. He said that Exceed, which is travel between fixed points, was like being on a rail. It was a safer map route that avoided systems and zones that could interfere with the transport. Collapse was different. Morals likened it to folding a sheet of paper over on itself to make 2 points touch. Almost instantaneous travel. The difficulties came in the power needed to generate that level of spatial twisting. This is why drop ships employ Dyson spheres as both engines and energy sources. The list of systems that use every part and type of siphon power from the stars is impressive and incredibly efficient. Munition and parts manufacturing, which are essential for continuous engagements, atmospheric controls to keep us breathing, but also extending from the ship to prevent rapid decompression incidents. Speed of light conduits vary this power all over the ship. Models always gush over how the ships were like entire ecosystems. And of course, in dire need, they could be used in last-ditch attacks against the plague, a decision that rested very heavily on every night captain's shoulders. I'm not sure if I could make that choice, and I do not envy Jazz for that duty. Speaking of the captain, their voice comes in from the pod speaker. Alright, all stations listen up. We're about to jump into battle. Fresh blood. Try to not stain your new gear. Trust each other in your training. Old hands, try not to embarrass me in front of the babes. Let's put on a good show. Nice lunar unit. Let's show these Raptor lot how it's done. All night saddled and ready. Steeds are raring to go. Combined Chimera unit confirming ready. That's why our packs will join the remainder of the active Raptor packs. When that happens, the temporary unit formation becomes a chimera for the time being. Collapse jump marking 5, 4. I take a long breath in and hold it. Exhale on the mark colon. 3, 2, 1. Mark. Exhale through grit teeth and everything around my shoulders and strings. If the XC transport had been a train on rails, the collapsing is like being on a roller coaster. It feels like my very core is being twisted and bent into conflicting directions while also being squeezed through the thinnest aperture. Then it was like water bursting through a dam and breaking free. I feel myself and the surroundings snap back to normal. I gulp in a breath and stare at the monitor as it flicks on, showing us the outside situation. It's them. Steed ships deployed. All crew engaged. Scan the sector for more of them and get me a lock on the ship. Bring us around the far side of Sotraxis' moon. Squads, prepare for Planetfall. It happens fast. Jazz barks out orders. The ship's cannons fire and strike into the swarm of small ships surrounding the largest core plague ship. The hairs on my back and arms rise as I watch us maneuver around the planet's moon. Streaks of light and explosions come from our own side as the battery cannons find their targets. I tried to keep track as night steeds fire or impact, blasting through entire clusters of plague. I feel a combination of awe and fear as our ships weave through the battlefield, grouping up and fighting the horde as they try to stop them. It's a dance, and one of the knights are leading. I'm worried, but I place a hand on my chest, no pain yet, and the auxiliary feedback is giving me a gentle trickle of concentration and determination. Cabas is fine, he's fighting, and he's in control. That's why to calm myself, positively, think about being brave and getting through this. The serum of pain and stimuli is a goal, but the ages did have an unpreventable and unintended part that had long become a cornerstone of Knight and Squire roles. It also shares emotions. I can feel what Cowbex was feeling, and vice versa. Remain calm for your knights. Make sure you hold hope and support in your heart. Let them know what they are fighting for and who they are protecting. Ground them, swallow their fear, swallow their doubt, embrace their uncertainty, and return every question with certainty. Keep fighting. You can do it. I believe in you. And I do. Cowards can do this. Plague land activity scan complete. Negligible units deployed. Landing zones designated between settlements and harvesting sites. Clear shot lined up. Time to get your parts ready, squads. Stay safe. Fire on my mark. Right, there's still a duty to perform, and there are people that I can save. It's time, Cobra. Time to fight. Mark. Unlike our earlier fall, where I felt a degree of exhilaration, now my stomach is filled with dreadful anticipation. There's no time. Before I can think more about it, the pod breaks through the clouds and I see the planet's surface below. I can immediately tell that it's a new world. The land still has patches and sections where the foliage hasn't taken fully yet. The sections of woods are small and sporadic, although you can see the design in rare and tiny great sweeping forests will exist. The earth that hasn't been claimed by the flora has a deep purple hue to it. From this vantage point, I can make out some settlements nestled like a oasis in the terrain. The landing destination is set. I read over the screens, checking on variations and if any manual adjustments are needed. None. I look to the right and flick through the screen readings for plague activity. Display shows the scanned entities the dropship had tagged before we were deployed. The pods do additional scans as well, in case of abnormal or smaller units that the ship might have missed. There don't appear to be any more that have landed, or our rapid response likely prevented it that could change at a moment's notice. The pods are aiming to put squads between the plague and the soldiers. Jazz has split our packs up to protect each of these areas. Even if we only deter the advance, it's better to lose planetary matter than people. The beep sounds a proximity alert flashes on the monitors indicating that landing is imminent. I retract my hand to grip onto the supports. The alert stops a moment before the pod thuds as it hits the dirt. I clutch the handles tighter to stop them. I clutch the handles tighter to stop from being thrown about as the pod violently stutters before coming to rest. I take a moment to do an additional scan. No point wasn't in it being blindsided. Good, the plague is still a ways off. Activate the door release, my right hand resting on the hilt of my sword in case something slipped through the scan. When nothing strikes immediately, I move out of the hatch cautiously. Zarya's is the closest pod to mine, and she is already out and removing the excavator tools from the pod capsule. I join her, retrieving my own. The compartment on the whole pod's open, giving me quick access. Here's Owen, sitting up on my left. She calls me over as she chooses a position on the ground to start. Working together, we slot our pieces together in position to complete apparatus on the earth. She maintains watch as I use my stick to activate it. Beeping, the machine opens its segments and the drill protrudes from below. With a weird whir, it starts boring into the ground. Across from us, Brute and Alex have linked theirs up too. With a quick interface between our sticks, the two machines set their parameters. I had to leap to one as the first block flies off of the machine like a printer. Within a few minutes, they will dig us a trench. Depending on what kind of place appears, we use this for cover and to return fire. I look up, the clouds are flashing green. The green storm descends again. Cohen? No, not now. It's different now. It's not going to turn out like that. I'll stop it. We'll stop it. I secure my sword and steel before I pull out my wolf pack, clenching the grip and withstanding my gaze on the horizon. Every rustle or movement from the tree line or flick of grass catches and holds my attention. Would they have deployed minor units this early? As we keep watch, the flashes and the occasional rumble of thunderous explosions within we wait in silence as we watch. We wait in silence as we keep watch. The flashes and the occasional rumble or thunderous explosions within the stratosphere are the only things punctuating their weight. Our fight might be a possibility, but each of us can feel the current fight going on above, a twins here, a thought there. Every time I see one of them wince, I flinch as well. It's better than worse. Turns out having faith is not so easy after all, if I'm shook by this. Still, there are a few moments when a plague ship breaks through the clouds, diving down to the planet in attempts to gather resources and then haul them back up. Each one is met with either a hail of gunfire or the welcome sight of a cavalry ship bursting through after them, destroying them before jetting back up out of view. Apart from those moments, everything is stilled anticipation. Brute clearly handles the worst out of us all. His left leg taps, he constantly fiddles with his firearm. He changes his grip and stance, reacting to every breath or noise someone makes as they shift. He stares down the open stretch of the woodland with such an intensity, I feel he's on the verge of bolting out of the trench and sprinting straight into the tree line any moment. Watching him is putting me more on edge. I should say something about there. Brute's bark makes us jolt. He stabs his whole right arm forward, pointing to the tops of some of the trees slightly further in. I'm not sure what he spotted at first. Then a few start to sway. It's not the wind. No, it's more like something is pushing them aside. Those trees are thicker than I am tall. Whatever it is, it's big. Fauna index of this planet shows nothing of that size. It's likely a plague unit. I expect a freight class, maybe a lumberjack. The shifting of the trees suggests bigger. Alex opens his eyes after a moment. He confirmed the data using the interface accessories which glowed in sequence from the ear to his tail. I have to ask him about those after this. Into the trench then. We have the high ground. We can observe what creeps out and then attack. You too, Brute. I turn from stepping into the trench to see Zarya grabbing Brute by the arm. He stares at the trees, not moving, but definitely straining against the hold. I'm about to step back up to help Zarya out before Brute hulks, turns, and then quickly moves into the trench. He shoves past me and then, using the lip of the trench to keep his arm steady, takes aim. Through the helmet, I can see him raise his hackles as he suffers impatiently. He's trying to get comfortable with his wolf pack laid over the edge of the trench, ready to fire in an instant. Alice leans back from Brute's left side, giving me a look of concern. We don't need a loose cannon when it is the trigger figure engaging before we coordinate. Brute, I know you want to shoot them. We're going to get them, right? But only when we agree to. Right, Brute? I ask. I don't want to reach out and touch him in his current state, but I move close enough to see his eye flick in my direction, only for a moment before focusing forwards. I know. He's panting quickly, as slow as he growls out his response. I guess I'll have to take his word on it. I line myself on his right as Zarya jumps down to my right. The three of us take similar positions to Brute, leaning over the top of the trench to take aim. With the angle we have, there is a clear line of sight down into the little valley. The trench is long enough that we can duck and move along if we need to reposition or take over. We have the advantage, but that could all change in an instant once we engage. Now we wait again. This time the rumble overhead intersects with the creaking of the trees as whatever it is moves even closer, still out of sight. Everything heightens as I focus, the weight of the firearm in my grip, the pounding of my heart beating in anticipation, the smell of the meal Cabex and I had sailed just a short while ago as my breath fogs the helmet slightly. Then it appears. Merciful stones is a butcher, stalking out of the final few trees. His numerous legs push and scuttles its bulbous body along with effort. It's a worm-like aperture of whirring teeth-like parts with tendrils and mandibles for funneling material into its maw, flexing like antenna. A butcher, unlike a lumberjack that harvests trees and other flora material, the butcher is a final tissue scavenger of one of the deadliest classes of land plague. I can see why. It's huge. The added horrifying Reality is that we very much count as targetable. Material makes us an enemy we can't afford to take lightly. The people in the shelters nearby could be reaped, too. If this thing discovers them, they will all be massacred, even if the forces in orbit are driven away. We have to make sure that doesn't happen. What's the plan? Even if there were more of us, that thing is not going down easily. We can hear her clearly through the helmet comms, despite the fact she's whispering. The butcher moves his head around as if picking up the scent of prey. Alex looks at Brute, who is clenching his jaw. I hope he can hear us. He hasn't moved yet. We'll take it from both sides, Zarya. Brute, use covering fire to keep it distracted and on guard. Cohen and I will take targeted shots when openings appear. Zarya, move further down the trench that way. I'll take the left. We nod as he talks and points down where he and Zarya will go. Cohen, you stay next to Brute and weave between his shots. You're the best marksman we have, so I know you can do it. You okay with that, Brute? He tentatively places a paw on Brute's back. Brute finally blinks and then looks at Alex with clarity. Yeah, I heard you. Let's take this garbage disposal truck down. If it gets as close as that walk there, we'll engage up close. Flank it, avoid the mouth, cripple its fucking legs, and then slow it. Despite his colorful description, it's good to see he's got his head in gear. We nod at the plan and then start moving. I move a little down from Brute, knowing how his arts fired at the range. I want a little distance to focus properly. Alice and Zarya move away to their positions. I tap my sword and loosen it from the sheath a little, just in case the butcher moves close suddenly. We got this. Finally get to pay him back. Fuck it up, right, come on, get ready. Get ready already. Brute is muttering more so himself than to me. He flicks his attention between observing the prowling plague and Alex and Zarya, who signal they are now in their spots. I settle into my own position slowly. The butcher still has not detected us. We have to make this count. Breathe. And aim. Alex's voice comes through the comms. Ready? On my mark. Commence. 3, 2, 1. Engage. Brute's roar, along with the first scream for his muzzle, fires down upon the butcher, who only has time to rear his head at the sound before being pelted with his barrage. Yeah, you fucking take that, you cobbled together shit heap. As I stare down the sights of the butcher, Zarya's shots start to impact it as it wavers, deciding what to do. Her light shots or pierce its cell, but they are landing and clearly confuse it momentarily. One of its back legs cracks at a joint as Alex's shot strikes true. That gets his attention. The plate's head whips around to where Alex's shot came from. Even though he's ducked into the twins, its head remains fixed on that location. His mouth and appendages flick out, as if tasting the air for his scent. Now's my chance. Bullseye. One of its mandibles flies off. It shakes its head, appearing hurt. My jubilation is short-lived as it lowers its body and then starts surging up the incline towards us, weaving in a serpentine fashion. Hold the line. Push it back. We all start firing. Its pattern of movement is erratic to avoid concentrated fire, and our shots scatter around it without much success. Shit, it's going to be on us soon if we don't pin it down. I toggle the heavy and start shooting at the ground ahead of where the butcher is going to be. If I can't hit it, I can maybe deter it and force it into a better pattern. Alex, help me funnel that. Brute, Zarya, blast it. Alex immediately picks up on my idea and lays down heavy fire to its opposing side. It works somewhat. The weaving becomes less severe as the butcher dodges the impacts and nails its movement. That's it. Keep the fucker pinned. Brute whoops as he concentrates his fire on the plague, switching between shots. Zarya's own barrage impacts its sides. Brute's leaning over the edge of the trench more and more. but I don't have the moment to yank him back. Still, it's working. We can really do this. Pieces of its cell blast off 3 more legs shatter, making its scuttling less graceful. It's still closing the gap, though. Hobbled it is, the butcher has enough momentum and legs to make it up the incline. In moments it will be within striking range. I take a second to loosen my sword from its sheath. The benefit of melee combat is that the plague react poorer than they do to ranged combat. Some strategies even call for it as a preferred method of taking them down. I guess the flaws and benefits of unpredictability are even more heavily displayed in the moment-by-moment changes and choices in a brawl. The downside is, well, this thing is fucking huge, and it's a play designed to target life forms, meat, us. It's more suited to up close and personal. Keep out the fire. Get it limping before it reaches us. Zarya, be ready to engage with blade. Brute, I guess go feral. More legs. It needs to lose more legs. It's so close now. We need to incapacitate it so it can't turn as fast. I wiggle up and out of the twins and then lie flat on the ground. I just need a clear line. I can sense Brute react, though he doesn't make to stop me. He and everything else disappears as I focus and wants to get closer. Zarya's impacts are mostly being ignored, though some are hitting between the cracks that we've made and is jostling slightly. With Alex's continued efforts, it is leaning askew, putting more weight into its left legs for stability. Breathe in. Hold it. Wait. There! I squeeze the trigger and send a burst. The heavy shots hum as they leave the barrel and rocket towards my target. The butcher moves to avoid my shots, but a clean hit from Alex interrupts it. I watch as the 2 leg joints I shot at explode, and then the whole thing topples and careens into the dirt. Yes, you fuck. You fuck. Ha! Brute growls behind me, but there isn't a further second celebration afforded as the behemoth spasms and tries to right itself. It is still active and still very much a threat. Brute leaps up and out of the twins, sword drawn, shield forward. His feet impact close to my head. The others are scrambling up and close too. Alex has his own sword poised like a fencer as he moves around the plague, cautiously stalking it. Zarya's fists glow as he comes in from the right, clenching her own sword tightly. Her head is down, watching for the right moment. A wounded animal is dangerous. A plague that feels no pain, designed to consume and is injured, is deadly. I start to push myself up, but Brute just points his sword at me and then flicks it back towards the trench. No, we'll take it from here. You aim and shoot when it's distracted. I'm not sure how to feel about being told to stay back, but is it insulting my close range fighting or committing my firing? There isn't time. He turns back to his foe and then leaps forward, narrowly, avoiding a limb aiming to grab and deposit him in its whirling maw. The butcher lashes out with tendrils and claws. The squeaks as they rake across seals or the thunderous thuds as they crash through the earth is terrifying. And anyone could do this. Anyone could do serious damage. Even this injured is keeping us on the defensive. Brute is even keeping his shield up as it lashes out in all directions. With its thrashing and proximity, I'm finding it harder to line up any shots. I only manage a pepper of light across it here and there as I move down our twins further to get a bit of distance. Grah. Got ya. I pop out of the twins, fearing the worst. Instead, she has managed to catch one of the butcher's mouth tendrils in her right elbow and is holding firm, preventing it from turning more. The glow on her joints pulls deep, with heavy energy as she both grips and crushes the appendage, holding tight. Now, Brute. Alex hollers from its other side, moving in for strikes. He stabs deep in between the plate's armor, with Brute while Boot takes it from the front, slashes across it with tremendous heavy blows. Plating gets sucked off with a screech, exposing the vulnerable inner components to Boot's continued onslaught. Its head being restricted by Zora's grip gives me the opening I need. I take up a steady stance again and flick the heavy, leveling the sights. Woo, yeah, get it, Cohen. 3 solid hits. Part of its face plate, one of its mandibles, and the last clearly inside the whirling blender of its mouth. It's taken some substantial damage now, which is good. The bad news is that it is most definitely pissed. Shit, I can't hold it. Back up, lads. The booster strains against Zora's hold and she's slipping. Boo and Alex reposition. Seals in front as Zora gives them just enough time to clear out before letting go. Zora leaps away, but not before the butcher swings at her with his back portion, impacting her side with a sickening crunch. Zora? I scream into the comms. From my position, I can't see her. All I can imagine is the worst. I want to run and check, but I have to keep pointing. Oof, I'm alright. It still packs a wallop. Keep on it. The plague is turning slowly towards her to finish the job. Alice and Brute move into Harry's sides, but they still have to watch out as it lashes at them. No, you don't. Get back here, you fucker. The butcher stops moving. The impact across his back cracks like if it cut nuts, shattering open. It turns. Its head is staring right at me. Something happens. Inherent recognition. It stills, abrupt. How can it still move like that? Its failing legs and breathing body surge towards me. I dully hear the others in my helmet yelling. My heartbeat is louder. It's going to eat me. It's going to try to eat me. Fuck that. I bring up my weapon in a single fluid motion. Part of my mind feels like it's lagging behind the action, as if I'm moving through molasses, but my desire is burning forth. Not this time. Right into its awful mouth. It weaves, halting its deadly approach. Got you, now die. Brute rushes in, taking advantage of its faltering. He drives his sword into its underbelly, deep. Purple bursts around his blade as it finds its mark. It stops moving. With a groan, the heavy body of the butcher topples and almost crushes Brute, but he manages to scamper clear just in time. We did it? We did it! Alex comes around the plague side as Zora clambers over part of his body, whooping. Oh yeah, now that was a workout and a half. Laughing, she jumps down. It quickly transforms into a hiss, and then a soft wince. Alex moves over to check on her, but she waves at him to not bother. I'm okay, really. Took a blow on these buttes, and they absorb most of the sock. Just win it is all. Really need to get them approved. It feels much better being hands-on. She's beaming like a maniac as she flexes her arms and grins. My own mouth mirrors hers. We really did it, and all of us came out alive. I'm jubilant. Yeah, fuck you, Slack. Worthless fucking power shit. Fuck yeah, fuck yeah. Bruce's victory roars are only matched by the repeated stabs he makes into the plague corpse. No chance it's going to rise up unexpectedly for another round with him carving into it like that. Alex comes over and then pulls me into a hug. I return it earnestly. Cohen, you did marvelously. Truly wonderful sauce. You simply must show me how you glean such amazing calls when next we're on the range. I can feel his body vibrating with heavy chuffs as his tail coils around my legs entirely. Anytime. I can't believe we did it. Y'all held your own up in its face. I don't know if I could have dodged it as well as you lot. I'm released from the hug and we observe the plague. Even unmoving, it is a horror to behold. I'm awash with giddy success, but I also feel a wave of relief and pride flow over me, not my own. I place a hand over the Aegis plate, Cowards must have felt our victory. I'm safe, big guy. You stay safe too. Grunt. I'm brought back planetside by Brute's yell. It wasn't a battle cry or a victorious one. No, it was one of pure pain that sends an icy chill into the pit of my stomach. Brute? Zora rushes over to his side. He's dropped his sword and is stooped over, his body shaking and convulsing. Alex and I hurry to him as well. Scanning the surroundings, it doesn't appear like a new threat has snuck up on us. Zarya looks at the two of us after her own examination, eyes wide. It's his Aegis. Coming closer, I can see his helmet fogging with his breaths as he spasms, body folding over. Let's get him back to the trench. Alex moves to his left side and helps Zarya lift him by his arms to half carry, half drag Brute back to our dugout. I maintain watch as we retreat. Now would be an awful time to have anything catch us unawares. The woods, the meadow, no movement. And take a look at the skyline still bristling with green flashes from the combat above. I haven't spotted any more silts descending. What the fuck is going on? Oh, fuck. It's a white proof. Breathe. Stones be damned. Cohen, help me get his helmet off. I turn back to my pack. Brute is on the ground, leaning against the trench wall, with Alex kneeling beside him. As I go to assist Alex, Zarya gives me a grim nod and swaps posts with me. She steps out of the trench to maintain watch. Coming closer, I can see Brute's Aegis glowing with activity. It's still receiving a signal. He's still taking on pain. That means Finn is still hurting. Something has happened to the commander. I assist Alex finding the clasp on Brute's helmet. We manage to release it and then pull it off of him. Brute grasps in a fresh lungsful of air as we do. He breathes heavy and haggard. Tears streak his fur. It's frightening to see him like this. Hey, Brute, stay with us. You got this. You can do it. I wonder at him, not sure what else to say. He might be a red, giant-sized prick, but I still hate seeing him in pain. I wish I could lick my Aegis up and take some of it. I feel helpless. A fresh surge whacks his body as he convulses again. He held up in training so well. Why the fuck is this devastating him now? Brute, focus on us. Focus on here, now. Don't let this consume you. Alice is clutching Brute's left arm, shaking him softly to try to rouse him from the pain spiral. He looks just as concerned as I am. I pull off my helmet and then put it down next to me and grab Brute's face, trying to get him to look at me. Come on, Brute. Come on, Brute. Don't you want to spit some insult at me? Hey, you got the killing blow on the butcher, didn't you? Didn't that feel good? Come on, Brute. Think about how great it will feel to rub his in the others' faces. I'm rambling, saying anything I can think of. Brute needs a distraction. He needs to rise over the pain right now. But he can't. He breathes. His breaths are labored. Froth is forming at the corners of his mouth. Merciful stars, he's burning up. He's caught in the transmission. He's going to go into Aegis socket this way. Brute could die. Fucking damn it. Alice is right. Brute's mind is wrapped up in the pain being sent to him. If he can't get through this, his body could shut down. Brute, hey, Brute, snap out of this. Think of anything else. Anything. Live, you other asshole. You don't get to be such a dick and then go and die right away. You hear me? He doesn't. I don't think he does. He's shaking more and his eyes are starting to roll back in his skull. Every time I shake him, it only keeps him on our side for a moment. What can I do? He's not listening. He needs something to separate him from the pain. Something real. Here, to keep him grounded. Can't slap him. More actual pain isn't going to help. He's just barely responding to my touch. Fuck. He's going to die in this ditch. Is there anything I can... Wait. Different stimuli, maybe? Fuck it. I grab his face with both of my hands and turn him to me. His eyes have rolled up into his skull. I shake him again, just enough for his eyes to temporarily focus on mine. Then I lean in and kiss him. Well, not much of a kiss. In my panic, it was more slamming my face to his and our lips and panting. I held him there for a moment, feeling it watching, seeing if it works. This is so stupid. Right? His twitching stops. He's breathing through his nose. His heart against my cheek. His lips move against mine. I pull back. Did this insane idea actually work? The fuck? He quotes out and then hiccups. You have to be kidding me. Alice grabs my shoulder and leans forward to look at Brute closely. Brute, are you with us? Brute lazily looks at Alex, drool on his muzzle as he pants for a breath. Why? God, oh fuck, it hurts. He clenches his jaw again. This event isn't over. The pain is still surging through him. That was a moment of reprieve, but he's seizing up again. Brute, focus. You need to focus on me, on us. Do I need to kiss you again, you prick? I'm trying to make a joke, but this time Brute is the one who pushes his muzzle up to meet my lips. This action is too quick to react to, and once again I'm pressed against the wolf's face. His mouth is ajar as we kiss. With each new spasm of pain delivered to him, his breath hitches. Does he really need this? I return the kiss with more intense and stroking the underside of his jaw to offer some more concrete, divergent stimulation. You're fucking insane. He breaks the kiss long enough to complain. A fresh attack stresses him to return his mouth to mine. He's fervently engaging in it now. You aren't my first pick either, Brute. I break off the contact and try to observe him for positive signs. His eyes are locked with mine. His breathing is slowly calming, in between hitches where he spasms and groans. What's going on down there? Is Brute okay? Zarya calls over his shoulder, turning his head and steals a quick glance at the situation. She does a double take with a slack jaw. Without saying another word, she forces her gaze back outwards. Cohen has come up with an innovative solution that appears to be assisting. Alice replies with a slight blush to his cheeks. I don't blame him. In all my training, I've never heard of locking lips as a means to keep someone from pain overload. I swear, if you tell anyone about this, fuck, I'll soon next weather at me, but it probably includes all of us. I don't exactly want this on my record either. Keep the conversation going. He presses more of himself into me. The kisses intermingled with gasps and stutters. He's teetering. I don't know what is happening above with the knights, but Fannin is still engaged with them. He's still being hurt, and Brute is still waving. I don't even like you. The pain is still pulling him from the situation. Between ravishing, urgent kissing, his lip thrusts against me enough to show that regardless of the situation, part of him is concentrating on this. I can't. God, it's too much. His jaw clenches again, and as he stops moving against me, and instead stutters. His paws that had gripped me firmly through our makeout sessions start to let go as he sacks back. I grab him to stop him falling away and then shake him again. Hey, don't go limp on me now, Brute, stay with me. He yelps with a fresh surge of pain, but he's still fading. It's not enough. It almost was, but he is still slipping back into the quagmire of the agony pulsing through him. What else is there? What more can I? Hey, Brute, fuck me. His eyes almost rolled back into his head, but then he zeroes in on mine. Fuck you. No, Brute, well, yes. A kiss was helping, but do more if you want. If it will help, you react to opposite stimulation. Do more, can you? I swear I can feel Alice's mouth drop. He hears Zarya's neck muscles creak as he turns to look at us. They don't matter. Only Brute survival matters. Yeah, it's stupid, and if I get court-martialed, so fucking be it. If you have any better ideas to stop yourself dying, I'm all ears. Root looks back at me incredulously. The moment continues in silence as his jaw moves. Fine. I hate this. Sweat has soaked his fur and his breathing is still haggard. He leans back and then starts fumbling with his armor, disengaging the seals around his hips, eyes down. Ah, shit, we're actually doing this. I do the same with my own armor, sucking it off into the mud. Brute's ears perk up at my movements before folding back against his head. He fumbles with his mask, stopping the stutter with pain now and again, or maybe to come to terms with what is about to happen. I lean back against the trench wall and look up at the whirling green clouds. I shake my head at the ridiculousness of the situation, close my eyes and listen to my heart pound. I lower my undergarments and expose myself to the open air, mud from the trench smearing my buttocks. When I open my eyes, Brute has almost exposed his groin and bare legs. His member is almost half masked already. I guess he didn't completely hate the kissing. Figures, you're weird. You're so fucking weird. He shuffles over and almost collapses on me, only bracing his arms against the trench walls at the last moment. He lifts aside, eyes wandering, partially unsure, partially in pain. Stay with me, Brute. We didn't take that behemoth down to be done in by the commander outdoing us, right? Concentrate on right here and the real feelings and let his pain fall away. Got me? I grab his face and get him to look at me. This might be my idea, and as bonkers as it is for maybe working, I still want to make sure he's agreeing to it properly. He looks at me, still weary, still in pain. He eventually nods and gives me a more determined look, more himself. This is so fucking dumb. I'm not gonna be some gentle pansy either. He quips before he spits in his maw, which he then lowers down beneath me. The cold feel of his sticky gizzard makes me choke. He wants to sink a pad against me with desperate intent to open me up, working the saliva in with urgency. His claw nicks me in the haste, which makes me twist. He's present enough to switch to a knuckle before actually pushing in. Fuck, it has been a minute, not like I assumed I needed to be ready for such activity so soon or in this situation. I don't doubt that. I brought back to him. Neither of us have our helmets on, so the others aren't listening in to our every word. A small mercy. I spit in my own hand and then grab him. I stroke him firmly, feeling him start to swell and throb to fullness, even as he forces his distance into me, and I wince. I can tell he's not the biggest I've ever taken. Thankfully, as I rub my saliva over his tip, he starts to leak a few steady beads of. I use them to continue lubricating him. Good, that will help this rough and ready ride at least a bit. Right. He helps and pulls his paw from me, deciding I was stretched enough. Raising his paw to his member, I give him one last stroke before relinquishing it to him and then suffering back to give him a bit easier access. He looks at me hesitantly, but I nod at him. The edges of his chest flares once more before he grunts and moves in closer. His knees press up under my rear, lifting and angling me better as he guides himself towards me. I rest my legs on the other side of him and try to think nice, open thoughts. I feel it. Wet and hot. His dick is almost searing. I instinctively clench, feeling it pressing firm against my spit-select hole. He only waits a breath longer. I don't know if it's final apprehension or to wait the current pain waves to subside, but in the next moment he enters me. He pushes his tip in, the sensation of myself stretching as he breathes me as he breaches me is filled with sudden expected discomfort. He only gives me a second to gasp and tries to relax before forcing himself deeper. The pain shoots through my legs and the spasm. I'm concentrating on trying to breathe as he thrusts deeper and deeper into me. I see stars. He splits me like a dog, and I'm not nearly as ready as I had liked. He growls. I stare at him as he locks eyes with me. His expression is a mix of disbelief and intense desperation. He only breaks eye contact to look down when he finally presses his lips. When he finally presses hips flush with my nethers. Brute hilts himself and stops. Panting and huffing, he feels like he's shoved a hot poker inside me. I take deep breaths, willing my body to let the discomfort fade. This was your idea, Cohen. Don't whip out now. Brute shudders as a first wave of pain walks through him errantly, thrusting as he does. Giving into the head, he throws through the momentum and starts to hammer himself in and out of me. Fuck. He slows his hips and looks at me. I can feel the sweat trickling down my brow by returning his gaze, adding my own grunts to his vocals. For all the love of, this better be helping. It is. I feel, yeah, it's helping. Shut up. His claws dig into the dirt on either side of me, perhaps for support or to help with the sensations. He gives me, or maybe himself, a few nods of his head as he starts thrusting in a somewhat erratic tempo. The initial burning is giving way to proper pleasure, which I am thankful for. I know I'll still be sore after, but that's later Cohen's problem. Fucked as this is, I still enjoy it as much as possible. I end up staring more at his ages than his face as he buries himself over and over inside me. His growls and whimpers intermingle with his own moans when he spears me just right. The aegis is still glowing and throbbing. At some point, I swear its pulses lines up with his thrust. I look at him properly now. His eyes are closed. I think he's still crying somewhere. But he's doing it. He's using me to surf the pain. And saying yes, but the moment is grounding. He doesn't say more than that in a low growl as he picks up speed and pushes deeper into me, forcing me against the compacted earth with each slam of his hips. Ah, shit, Brute. He pumps into me so hard and fast that I can feel my own orgasm being forced closer. His thrusts do not relent, and I start to spill inside my suit, hot and messy. Brute's insistent humping pummels me through the glow as I clench hard around him from the climax. Grow. He pulls out at the last moment, whether intentional or a slip, I'm not sure. The thrack of his cock slapping up against himself as he climaxes rings in my ears. The torrent erupts from him like a geyser. He closes his eyes tight. I remain still and let him continue to live in it. If he's still feeling. I remain still and let him continue to live in it. If he's feeling any feedback, I don't think he'd care at this point. So I feel accomplished. What we've done, did it actually help him? And what the fuck now? He eventually opens his mouth and then looks down at me, panting. I can't tell if he's sickened, proud, thankful, or any particular combination. But he's alive. You're fucking welcome, Brute. I pant out and he growls at me, likely about to bite back. In response, he swallows it and instead just shakes his head. What the asshole. He isn't southern anymore than the occasional tremor. I think Commander Finn's situation must be better now, right? So, quite a solution, Cohen. We are correct. I'm bewildered and amazed by your strategy. Alice is still looking out into the valley. I'm so glad that nothing started while Brute's situation was handled. I think it would be prudent, for all our sakes, if we keep this between us. Don't you think? Brute pushes off of me after that. He then starts rubbing the mess from his fur with paws of dirt, keeping his head down and muttering back. Brute pushes off of me, and Brute pushes off of me. After that, he then starts rubbing the mess from his fur with paws of dirt, keeping his head down and muttering back. Yeah, I don't want any of this to spread about. Not a word. Ever. Even bashful, his prickly side shows through. In this case, I agree. I may have said that I take responsibility for this, but I certainly don't want to if I can help it. Zoe nods and keeps staring away. From her posture, I think she may be embarrassed as well, or flustered. I look up at the sky. The flashing has stopped. I wonder if that. Our sticks go off. I fumble to reach mine, but Alice is quick on relaying the message. It's from Captain Jazz. The plague has been pushed to retreat. The knights are clearing through any remnants, but there have been no fatalities. We did it. As soon as its head all started, it's over. Well, our part is the planet still got hit. We arrived relatively fast, but I can't guess what has been taken for them. Recovery and additional defense measures will be sent in to help these people get back on their feet and restart their lives. But they're alive. They have their lives, and we helped. After shuffling my suit back on, I crawl up to the edge of the twins and look at the fallen butcher. We really stopped something awful from happening, even with the ache in my rear. I can't help but feel amazing. It was all worth it. What about Finn? Brute pulled his own stick out and is scrolling through the message log. His ship sustained some damage. He's returned to the drop ship for medical care. He's alive, Brute. Brute deflates and keeps reading to confirm everything Zoya said. Pickup will be here soon. Let's get ready. Alright, everyone? He turns to face me, though I notice he's looking awkward. I guess he's still unsettled by what was done. He offers me his paw, though, and I take it and let him pull me up and away from the twins. Thanks. No problem. You did good, Cohen. Really unorthodox, and I would not wish this to become a regular means of accident, but your quick thinking may have well saved Brute's life. Oh, yeah, thanks. I still don't know what I was thinking. You did well against the butcher, too, don't forget. What bad luck we had to encounter one in our first engagement. You stared at it. It feels like hours ago that we fought it. It still doesn't seem real that we took it down, just the four of us. We watched it for a while longer until Brute yells at us to come help prep for pickup. We journeyed back to the drop ship in quiet contemplation. Alex offers to complete the mission, reporting as we go, accounting for our movements and strategy. I spent the entire time looking back at Citroxis. I feel like I can see its scars, but it's not thorough. There are no broken continents, nor viewable damage, even though it's doubtlessly there. What little the plague had managed to scour and steel would still be missed. However, Citroxis will recover. I allow myself to smile. As we pull into the bay and then the transport opens, we are greeted by a very anxious bear. Eric almost throws himself at us the moment we are in arm's reach. Oh gosh, guys, I was so worried about y'all and... Well, slow down there, Eric. We're okay. We're all okay. Are you? Eric takes a few sniffling breaths as he hugs us all, minus Brute, one by one. Yeah, I'm alright. It was so scary, though. Alex pats his back consolingly. We had cracked to scare ourselves on the ground. I can only imagine how it was to engage the plague and swarm. Oh, I mean, yeah, that was scary, and I was scared for you guys too. But the scariest thing was all the silent Jazz was doing. Trying to follow their orders was so hard I thought I was going to have a heart attack. There's a moment of silence between us before Zoya breaks it with a snort. Wait, you were more scared of Jazz than the plague? Wow, Eric. I'm nostalgia. You're brave in a weird way. Eric blushes brightly at that and waves his paws defensively. No, no, I'm not saying it wasn't scary. I'm super scared, but jazz is so much more terrifying when they're selling. They had this manic grin the whole time, even while their orders were so precise. The bear shivers, and I'm in half a mind that he had it worse than us. As the others recount our battle against the butcher to Eric's, we walk deeper into the ship. I'm not really paying attention to where Eric's is leading us until we reach a junction. The smell of medicinal fluids wastes my stride. Oh, Eric's, do we need to be checked for injuries? I don't think any of us suffered wounds. Well, Jazz told me to bring you all to be checked regardless because of the aftershock of the Aegis and its standard after any engagement. He looks apologetically at us before addressing Brute, who has been silent this whole time. Brute, Commander Fenn asked to see you as soon as you were back. He's in the recovery ward down there. Brute hurries down the hallway Eric's gestures at. He disappears out of sight. To be honest, I'd do the same. I hope both of them are going to be alright. I'm about to ask which room I should go to see. About to ask which room I should go to when I see him. Calbex is coming down the corridor towards us. He's unharmed. It's okay. I stopped myself from spreading to meet him, but I can't hold back my smile. He has an odd expression on his face. His arms move as if he is going to hurt me at first, before he returns them to his sides instead. Ah, Corwin, you're back. Yes, safe and sound. You too. His expression melts into actual relief as he smiles at me. Damn, he looks so young when he smiles. So we are. I guess our first mission is a success, then. Anything of note to report? My stomach leaks as I immediately think about what transpired in the trench, but I stammer past it. Oh, no, I mean, yes, we took on the butcher just the one, and then it was over. He stares at me strangely, but just as fast sighs. He then moves close to me. It might have been harrowing, but I feel I proved it. But I feel I prove I can survive, I can fight, and I can win. I want a thorough recounting of that. Butchers are savage opponents, and we can discuss things to do better or differently next time. For now, we should clean up and prepare for debriefing. After that, we can go home. Cabot starts walking down the corridor, looking back when I don't immediately follow him. Home? He smiles again, so warm and invitingly. Yeah, Corwin, let's go home. Let's go back to our home. We did. Yeah, Corwin, let's go back to our home. We both did well. My heart thumps. I take a few second steps before falling in line. Yeah, I want to go home. Together. I said I was in Finite Space. That was a whole VN for now. Okay, so now that we're up to date with everything, yeah, I kind of got pretty tired once we got to that scene between Coward and between Corwin and Brute. I tripped on a lot of words. I got kind of tired by that point, but I wanted to go ahead and continue simply because that scene caught my attention. So yeah, that was a very unorthodox way of saving Brute's life. So Anyway, it worked at the end. I'm surprised both of them agreed to that. But again, I guess when in life or death, you want to do anything to survive, even if it's something you would never do. Anyway, so for him to be, for Brute to be going through all that pain, then Commander Finn must have really been in a lot of pain himself. And of course, since he's the squire for Commander Finn, he has to take all of Commander Finn's pain. That doesn't mean that Commander Finn was affected, but I, I guess I guess Brute suffered the worst of it. Since he is a pain spud, to help, to preserve the knights, you have to absorb their pain. So yeah, so wasn't expecting that. But again, we saw a lot of lewd stuff in this being, with the nudity early on in the baths and all that. Yeah, so they defeated the plague and they were successful in their first missions. And Cohen really proved to himself and everybody else that he's not this puny, scrawny human who can't do anything, but he's very talented. He's very skillful, and everybody congratulate him for for his big help in defeating the plague. I forgot what type of plague it's called, but it's the most dangerous one. It's the most dangerous type. So I'm happy for Corwin. He's he's much more knowledgeable and more experienced now, and he keeps up that determination. He'll only get better, and he'll probably be just as great of a knight as Kalbex. Yeah, just gotta keep trying and get better. To quickly go over my assessment of all the characters, I like all the characters. Well, not every character I like personally, but I do like their characters. I don't like Brute. I don't like Commander Finn, but I like their characters. You need, you know, you got a good balance of characters. You got really nice ones. You got the complicated ones like Brute, and you got the really nasty ones that I just can't stand, like Commander Finn. So my two favorite characters in the VN are Kalbex number one. I mean even though he's a knight, an elite person, he's very humble about it. He's not like this type of person who tries to make their squires do everything. Kind of like to inflate their ego. He doesn't want his squire to do much out of respect for his squire. Plus, he doesn't. Plus, he doesn't want that much help from others. He wants to do things himself. So, I really like characters like Kalbex who are humble, even though they're in a powerful position. I really like Alex. He's very kind, and he's just a very kind person, and he looks really cute, from times like when he gets flustered and stuff like that when he smiles. I like Zarya. Very optimistic, very ready to go, be ready to tackle the difficulties, of fighting. And I really like Alex. He's very polite, and he believes in Corwin, and he's very apologetic whenever he goes, berserk. Like when in that bath scene when Brute just kept talking crap to him, and I understand why he snapped at Brute. I mean, he just couldn't take his insults. Brute's a lot to take. He's a lot to deal with, and if even Alex can snap at him, then anybody can. That's everything for now. When a new update comes out, I'll have it out. I'll record it and have it out for y'all to see. So thank y'all very much for watching. Goodbye.